Today is a beautiful day to have this episode. Welcome to the 65th episode of the weekly virtual Big B Meetup, a community outreach initiative founded in 2018. And the pandemic brought about its virtual edition. It aims to inspire, to educate, to inform, and bring communities together. It is inspired by the people of Qatar, both local and expatriate, and dedicated to my mother. Today, we champion animal rescuers and urge people to adopt, don't shop. And thus, we host two wonderful animal rescue ambassadors of Qatar, Victoria and Dina. Welcome, ladies.
Hi.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. Dina, would you like to introduce yourself and then I'll go to Victoria?
Sure. So I am Donna Divina. Some of the rescue community members know me as Donna or Divina. But I have been in Qatar for now 20 years.
Wow.
I'm 24 years now, and I'm from Sri Lanka. And I'm an avid animal lover, but dogs are my favorite, and they have a special place in my heart.
That's lovely. I love your candid answer to that introduction. Victoria?
Yeah, hi. So thank you. So I'm Victoria, but please call me Vicky. I've been in Qatar now for just coming up for 3 years, so still a bit of a newbie. I am actually an engineer by trade, but as an avid animal lover and also volunteering for Paws, I got into social media and kind of, communications and stuff, so I really enjoy it. But I'm a dog lover by heart, but because my job and my commitments don't allow me to own one, I've actually now become a cat lover. So that's where my heart now lies. But yeah, so I've been helping Paws. I adopted 2 cats from them actually in 2019, and I've been a volunteer ever since then. So
that's a lovely story there. 3 years is not bad, huh? You all in 3 years you've already entrenched yourself in the rescue community. That's fantastic. Bravo. Divina, you have a lovely Instagram name, Rescuing the Pack.
Yeah.
I love that name. It's beautiful. It attracts me to the pack. So can you give us a rundown of when you started rescuing the pack actually,
Sure.
and when did you start rescuing the pack?
Okay. So as the name suggests, rescuing the pack simply means we rescue the entire pack from a location. We started in 2019. Now, rescuing the pack simply consists of my family. That's my mom, dad, my brother Rahal, my husband Shakib, and myself. So in 2019, there was a Facebook post about this mama and 5 puppies in industrial area, and they were starving. I just had a quick word with my mom and dad, and we said, let's move them to our location. And that's just it. We did. The 5 puppies are now rehomed, and the mama, who we named Natasha, is in Belgium. So just just after the feeling of happiness and after really going through the motions and feeling completely fulfilled, we just immersed ourselves into rescuing. And now presently we've rescued 162 dogs plus. So we're just rescuing and rescuing. Yeah.
That's a great number in such a short time.
Yeah.
And that's so nice that it is a full family. So your pack helping rescuing other packs. That's fantastic. That's a story to be told. That's beautiful. Let's move to Victoria. Vicky. Vicky. Yeah. And tell us when you started your journey with animals. I know you're a dog lover, but particularly with Paws.
So absolutely.
By the way, Vicky, you should be really ready for all this because I believe you've been all over the news for the past couple of days, from the BBC to what was it today?
The Daily Mirror as well. And I think unfortunately it's not with it's with kind of heartbreaking news, unfortunately, that we've kind of hit the press. I think so. Paws was founded back in probably 2013. We've been operating for around 8 years. The 2 founders are Emily and Alison. That's who kind of came up with the idea through friendship more than anything. We've been operating for 8 years. We've probably in that time rehomed over 3,000 animals, mostly internationally, because the local adoption market can be quite hard because there's so many transient people.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we've had we've been definitely contributing to the rescue efforts in Qatar for sure, and then unfortunately 2 weeks ago we heard the news that so first of all the landowner has been super kind to us. We've been on his land now since 2017. We've not had to pay rent. He was super generous in helping to fund the shelter that we're in now, but unfortunately we were told that the Baladia want to reclaim the land for a different purpose, and therefore we've been asked to leave the land. So that we'll unfortunately have to close the shelter the end of January next year. So we've only got really now 2.5 months to try and rehome all of the animals in our care, which is just a mammoth task. So that's
Yeah.
basically what we're busy with just now.
Is there a couple of questions here actually? Now that you just you said this, one is there any way that we can talk to the Baladia? Because I know a few people in the Baladia that we can speak to. Uh,
Yes.
that's
So I
one.
think. Mhm.
And second is, how many pets do you have that need immediate relocation? And I think US is still off the grid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately, the ban is still in place.
So
Yeah,
we're
the
looking at
safety
just
ban.
Canada and
Canada and Europe and the
Eu-
UK is a big market. Yeah. So the first question. So what can you do? I think all of the support that we've had since the news came out has been phenomenal. We've been blown away by the support we've had from all the local community.
fantastic.
I think anything that we can do to show support and also just help emphasise the need for a shelter to exist, I think that would be really beneficial. We are working closely with the ministry just now, the Ministry of Agriculture, and there's no guarantees, but I think just through talking and sharing and also through awareness of what we do, hopefully we can maybe try and influence the decisions. So, and
Lovely.
there's no promises, but I think it's just about
Fingers
spreading
crossed.
awareness. Yeah, exactly. So I think
Yeah.
all of that support, and that's why we've been quite prominent recently on social media doing the volunteer day, because all of that just community awareness will hopefully just spread the message. So that's
Absolutely.
that's the kind of first question, and then the second question. So we've currently got in our care. So in our care could either be foster, at the shelter, or at the vets. So we've currently got 90 dogs in our care, and we've currently got 159 cats in our care.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've got some big numbers, unfortunately, because the news came as such a surprise. Otherwise, we would have been trying to obviously get our numbers down.
Yeah.
We've also got some outdoor cats at the shelter as well, which aren't included in those numbers. But we've basically said nobody gets left behind. So even
Yeah.
even outdoor cats will come with us in some shape or form. Um, so yeah, so that's why we've got such a big task now. So we're desperate to find fosters, we're desperate to find homes, we're desperately trying
Yeah.
to prepare our animals for travel internationally and get the rat test done for Europe, and we're also desperately looking for offers of support locally. So if we need to find a temporary shelter, we're looking at options for that. But also, maybe we'll have an amazing, generous offer that comes along in a permanent shelter,
Yeah. I
and
hope.
maybe the day will be saved, but we're not holding
Yeah.
out for that because I think it would be stupid for us to put all of our eggs into that basket. So
Absolutely.
that's why we're
Yeah.
kind of at the moment planning for the worst, which is we have to rehome the full number, and then if something, and then we'll keep looking for the alternative solutions as well.
Okay. Okay. I'll come back to you with a few more questions. Just hold
Sure.
your thoughts there. But let's move to Divina.
Yeah.
Divina, as a independent rescuer, can you run us down your story? How did you start, and what? I mean, not how did you start, but how do you go about doing it?
Okay. The process of rescue.
The
So
process of rescuing.
so
Yeah,
when
the
you
costs
speak,
also. Yeah, because I remember I had a post a couple of days ago. A friend of mine, an English friend of mine, from his industrial site, work site, he had a couple of pups, and I sent it to you, and you came up with a fantastic reply, because you were right. You said these are the costs. Because they were willing to pay for it, and thank God somebody actually picked them up, and they're saved. That's lovely. But tell me, Divina, how do you go about this?
okay, so when you find dogs in the street, there could be two types. You've got the really friendly dogs, or you've got the dogs that are nervous, they're scared, they've gone through something, so they're nervous. Yeah. So let's move on to the ones that are nervous and scared. You've got to build trust with them. You've got to have a feeding schedule. You've got to get close to them, and then they become friendly. Once you've established this phase, oh, and if they're not friendly, there are other ways, but let's just move to they're friendly. So you move them to the foster home. Now, this is the place where you get them vaccinated, dewormed, microchipped, and then you've got the cost of spaying and neutering.
Sorry to stop you there, but
No worries.
can you tell me how do you rehome dogs that are not friendly and that are nervous? Because,
Right.
yeah, I'd like to know that.
Right. So when they're on the street, you have to build trust with nervous dogs and shy dogs. But then once you get them to the home, then there's a whole process of every day you say hello to them, treat, then say hi to them, treat, give them their space, give them
Yeah,
their own freedom to move about, and very slowly. Sometimes rescue dogs, they may never be the cuddly dogs that you wish, but they will always try every day, and you will see gradual change. You just have to have a
yeah.
lot of patience and love for the
Well,
nervous.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. I don't believe you there. Rescue dogs can be cuddly dogs
Can
because
be.
this guy is a rescue. This guy
Cute.
there.
Hi, Simba.
Yeah, yeah.
Hi, Simba.
And he's the boss now. He's the boss. He's
Cool.
taken over. He knows I'm live, so he wants to show people that he's the alpha. So I think rescue dogs they have a bigger heart than dogs that you buy from the shop, which you shouldn't. Which you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So once you get these, going back to the process of rescuing, once you get these dogs into foster homes, now foster homes are the most crucial because that's where they learn to live in a house. They get
yeah,
potty trained. They understand they're not supposed to eat the furniture. They learn to cooperate with the family, with the times of sleep and wake up and walks and leash training. So all of these things happen in a foster home, which is why we really need fosters to save the rescues. And then afterwards, the cost, and especially where the costs come into play, is spaying, neutering, and the flight tickets. Now, you could essentially get all of your rescues locally adopted, but when that's not an option anymore, when you run out of really good local homes to give your dogs to adopt, then you have to think about moving them abroad, and that's what Paws does as well most of the time, unless we find a really good family locally. So then comes the cost of the crate, the import and export, and then the flight tickets. So those are so basically, in rescuing, the parts that's time consuming and very restricting is funding and fostering. So these two are the major parts that we need to, like, if we have more fosters, it's easier, and when we get the funding to send them abroad, it's a little bit easier. So that's just the process. You find a dog, you be friends with them, you move them to a foster home. This is like in a really small nutshell, and
yeah.
then you support them to go abroad.
Fantastic. And how do there are many people who would like to support financially. They cannot give their time, but they want to support financially. How do you go about that? For example, like I have friends who like to support, especially with all due respect, especially independent rescuers. How do you go about doing that?
So you have to reach out to a rescuer and ask what's going on and what the funding is for. Most of the time it would be for something medical related, and this could go directly to the vets. Now, there are
Okay.
many vets that
Perfect.
allow you to do bank transfers directly to the vet against the cost incurred for that very specific animal. And otherwise, you could do something like buy a crate and donate a crate so the animal
Yeah.
can travel. These are two really good ways.
Good
They're all
question about good question about the crates. Actually, I believe there are so many crates that go outside, but there's once they go the other side, they're not really in use anymore. So is there a way that we can get them back here? Because I believe some people are trying to do that, and they've started that process a couple of years back, maybe. But
Okay.
it could be done it could be done more often. What do you think, Vicky?
Yeah, no, absolutely, Bosco. I think it's a great question. We've been, because you're right. I mean, we send a lot of dogs internationally, and so therefore there's a lot of crates that we could potentially just lose.
Yeah.
But where possible, especially if somebody lives close to the airport, then we ask them to return them back, and then we get them shipped back to Qatar.
Oh,
So
lovely.
we've been doing that a lot from the UK, etc. So yeah.
Yeah, because a minimum a crate costs minimum 700 riyals or something, 700 to 800 riyal for a
Yeah.
dog. Or
Yeah,
mid-sized
and
dog.
for the big ones like the giant scudos,
Yeah.
it can be upwards of 1,000. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's money that could be used directed towards other causes.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's where it goes. I'd like to give a shout out to Hoch Shoaib. He's my Pakistani friend, and he was my neighbor around 18 to 20 years ago. And I fostered a dog that I adopted a dog, and because we were on the main road living on the ground floor, and I lost him for a day. He helped me find the guy. So thank you, Shoaib, for tuning in. He's a wonderful guy and a great musician and a dog lover. Yeah, that's really nice to know that. And wow, there are people who are tuned in. I'm really liking this. That's good. That's
Yeah.
good news for Paws and for Divina.
Thank you.
And for all the doggies and cats that need rehoming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Continue with what you were saying, Divina, because we want to know more about how you go about and would you save cats too? And what's your opinion on TNR?
All right, so a shout out to one of my friends, Huyen from For Support. She is somebody who does a lot of TNR. So she's the reason why I actually started looking at TNR in cats. So cats make babies faster.
Oh yeah,
At their time, they just go on and on about one cat is all we need, and we have so
Yeah.
many kittens in the street.
absolutely.
TNRing cats is a must. It's an absolute must. There are kittens that are dying, unfortunately, getting squished in between dustbins, getting
Yeah.
caught under cars. They snuggle inside the engines because it's
Yeah.
cold sometimes,
Yeah.
and then boom,
True.
somebody doesn't notice that and they start the car, and then the cat's dead. So TNRing your cats is saving their lives. It's saving all the unborn's lives. So it's very, very important to TNR cats. And I have saved a few cats here and there. I just
lovely.
yeah,
Yay, go cats.
Yeah.
more than going and actually bringing the cat. But yeah.
That's nice. Another shout out to Elizabeth. She's the president of the American Women's Association in Qatar, and she's a big fan of Big B Meetup. And I'm going to ask her, I'm going to put her on the spot here. Actually, she might just tune off, maybe. I don't. But Elizabeth, I hope you have a fundraiser with all the American Women's Association ladies for Paws. It's for a good cause. Yeah. So that's, please, Elizabeth, you could do that for Christmas, perhaps. Be Father Christmas. And yeah, coming back to Victoria, what is the immediate need for Paws rescue right now?
Yeah, so I think, what we've been kind of saying is, so at the moment, we're definitely not fundraising for a new shelter, because to build a new shelter to kind of good international standards, it's going to be a cost that we just, it's going to be completely unachievable. So what we're fundraising for, hi Simba. So what we're fundraising for just now is basically the travel costs for the animals, because unfortunately the adoption donations that we ask for international adoption, they don't actually cover the full cost. So we actually have to bear a lot of the cost ourselves through donations. So that's basically what we're asking for in terms of fundraising just now. And also a lot of the partners that we're working with, because it's such a short time frame, a lot of the partners that we're working with, we've got to come up with the money ourselves for them to accept them. So yay, thanks Elizabeth. So that's basically what we're fundraising. So a big thing is fundraising just now, so that we can get as many animals out to as many partners as possible. Especially for cats, we can still get into the US, which is great. For dogs, it's predominantly Canada and Europe and the UK. So fundraising, we're also looking desperately for adopters, so people that really want to come and adopt a dog. And we'd love to have you down at the shelter and come and meet some of our gorgeous animals. We're desperately looking for fosters, because as Davina says, I think for us, the rescue process that we have, the shelter is almost like the step in between. We normally rescue rehabilitate at the shelter and do a lot of socialization, like the team do an amazing job down there. We've had some of the most nervous dogs become the most amazing pets, and then we put them into foster. So we're desperately looking for fosters, because that's when they really start to get used to domestic life. And we're desperately looking for flight buddies, so people that can take our animals with them when they travel next.
Very nice.
So
Victoria, sorry, before I lose my train of thought, because I got too many trains going here. Please tag me on your posts so that I can reshare them.
Yes.
And about fostering, I get questions from people because they'd like to foster, but some people want to foster for a week, for a day, for not a month, but we can push it. But I do know that I know the situation from both sides, because people say, the rescue people say, please foster him for a month. or they
Mhm.
start off with 2 weeks or a week, but it gets extended. So
I
I
think.
would, yeah. How do you put that across to people? Because you know it and I know it. It won't be for a week, or
Mm.
it would definitely be for a month or 2 weeks, maybe.
So so there's no right and wrong answer about how long is a good foster for. I think
Yeah,
there's an element of reality that Davina spoke about where it does take a while for an animal to settle into a new home. So if it's too short a period of time, sometimes it can be more unsettling than it can be good for them. Especially cats, we find sometimes struggle if they get moved too quickly. But for example, we've always got animals that are booked on flights. So, for example, in 3 weeks' time, we've got a whole bunch of dogs going to the UK. So, if somebody wanted to approach us and say, I can foster, but it can only be for a few weeks, then we can basically match them up with an animal that's due to travel relatively quickly, and therefore there's not going to be that prolonged. Oh, can you just keep him for another?
fantastic.
Can you just keep him for another week? So, because we've always got that flight as a commitment. Um, then it makes easy for people to know that the commitment is upheld on our side. So.
That's a lovely answer. That's what I was looking for. Fantastic. Yeah. So please tag me on those posts because I can push with people. I can request them to be Father Christmas, not the
Yes,
Grinch.
please.
Yeah, and support these animals. I don't know if I can say this, Victoria. You don't want to support Paws Rescue? Fine. Support the animals that live
Mhm.
at Paws Rescue.
Yeah,
Please. It's for them. It's for the cats. It's for the dogs. It's for the
yeah,
owl, the odd owl.
yeah. And I think that's Bosco. I think you've hit the nail on the head. I think for us, we see ourselves all as one big rescue community in Qatar,
Yeah.
and there really is no one solution. I think the problem has now got so vast in Qatar in terms of the animal population that it needs a bit of everything. It needs massive TNR support for sure. It needs shelters to take in animals to just get them off the streets. It also needs a really strong rehoming program. It needs laws that prevent the kind of breeding and selling of
Yeah.
animals in the stick.
Yeah.
It needs to have so many multiple
Yeah.
strands that there's no single solution, and therefore there's no single person that can do it all,
True.
or no single organization. So we very much see ourselves as just one part of the solution, and everybody is contributing to we're all fighting the same fight at the end of the day. So.
Yeah, very true. Victoria, I just had a thought. I'm in touch with a couple of schools in Qatar,
Mm,
and I'd like to know if you'd be willing to talk to some of these schools. You could just create awareness because I'm sure the kids, and if we have some lovely pictures, I'm sure the kids will like taunt their parents to, hey, can we foster these dogs or cats?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
one of
We've
the
got
schools,
That would be awesome. We've got a couple of schools just now, actually. One did a bake sale on our behalf, and they raised over 2,300 riyals selling donuts. I mean, it was amazing.
oh, lovely.
We've got another school who've actually they've got an awareness booth set up permanently in the school talking about the animal situation in Qatar. So that's amazing. We've
Yeah,
also got universities supporting us as well. So Carnegie was down just 2 days ago doing a bit
fantastic.
of a visit. So yeah, like that's what I mean. Like the support that we've had has been phenomenal. Like
Oh,
it's
fantastic. So, Victoria, I'd like to donate one of my bespoke photographs that were at an exhibition at Sheikh Faisal's Museum and a couple of other pristine places in Qatar. I'd like to donate that to Paws Rescue, and you all can auction it, or have a silent auction for it, and
yeah.
have this.
So that is so kind.
Like
Thank
to
you
do.
so much.
Yeah. And I'd love to connect you to some of the schools that I know of. You might already know them, but I'll connect you once the program is over, and we can see where we can take pause from there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
Uh,
Thank
and
you.
let's go back to Divina. Uh, so, what are the pros and cons? Because there are cons too, right? Or you didn't want me to ask you that question, but I said, let me push it with Divina.
This is the question all rescuers get asked. All
Yeah. So
right.
think of it, as you're one of the ambassadors, as I said. So you're talking on behalf of Sabrina, on behalf of so many other rescue people I know of, and also remind us about the lovely story you wanted to tell us about how Paws rescued you, or rescued
Yeah.
your pack. Yeah, that's so, because I also know of things where stories of where people say no, animal rescue single rescue people are away from group rescues, as in like an institution like Paws. And then you came up with this beautiful story, and I'm like, wow. So please tell us that story.
Okay, sure. So when you're an individual rescuing, you need all that time to find a foster at your pace, to find the vets at your pace. You just need the time to, solve everything by yourself. But sometimes we've got situations where the dogs are being complained about. It's too dangerous. They're at construction sites. We need to move them immediately. I had no place to move 8 dogs all of a sudden. I had 3 foster homes ready, but 5 of them needed to be placed in a safe area immediately. Pause and Cause, they just stepped in right away, and Cause took the boys and Pause took the girls. I'm talking
Oh,
about, yeah,
Yeah,
Honey, Kite, and Echo were in
yeah,
Pause, and they Pause basically changed their lives. They learned to walk on a leash. They learned to have their meals properly without stuffing their face in it, and
yeah,
yeah, and they are just well behaved. And also Echo specifically was a very nervous dog, but I had to foster her here, and she was actually really, really good. And she's changed so much after being in Paws. So we need shelters sometimes, because as individual rescuers, when we have very limited time to do something quickly, we got to call them up, and we can't do it without them. So thank you, Paws, for taking in my girls.
yeah.
All 3 girls are now in Echoes in Europe, and Honey and Kite through Furby Rescue are in Canada.
Oh,
Yeah,
Furby is another awesome woman.
yeah,
I got a chance to meet her last year when we bid goodbye to our rescuers. They went to rescue dogs, went to Montreal, Shushu and Leo, and it's been a year since they left us 3 days ago, and we are still in touch with the lovely family in Montreal. Although some groups say that you should cut loose, don't be in touch, but
yeah.
this is just phenomenal. We are in touch with them, and we are part of their family now. So guys, please foster. It will never let you fester. It's good for you. It's good for your soul.
good for the soul. Yeah.
Yeah, there's another lovely story here from Geraldine Menezes, incidentally my sister, and I and re- uh, she fostered a lovely pup. I coaxed her a bit to do that, but she did it anyways. And she had a lovely she's just a young mom, so it was not easy. But I think the name of the rescue dog sold it to us. So this is Uhtred of Doha, not of Bebenberg. And he's a lovely fellow. And she was going on vacation, so we had just 2 weeks to be with her. But the rescue person, a good friend of mine, Yusura, Sora's rescue, as she's called, uh, we couldn't get a new home for her for almost a month and a half. But a few days before going on vacation, a lovely British family who just came new to Qatar fostered Uhtred, and in less than a week has adopted Uhtred.
Wow.
So I'm going to get in touch with them also, because they got a villa, and I'm going to see if they can foster something from Paws. We need all hands on deck.
All hands on deck. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, lovely. Now we come to a lovely part of my favorite part, actually, where I give the chance to you to take over the show. Yeah, I'm magnanimous like that. Yeah. So Victoria, you get a chance to ask Davina and me a question, and Davina can do the same. So let's go with Victoria first. Vicky, yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Bosco. So, Davina, the question I was going to ask you is, if you had a single wish, to positively influence the animal situation in Qatar, what would your wish be?
My wish would be I would be able to talk to someone who can start TNR programs everywhere, in every spot. But if I get another wish, just one more, just add
Sure.
in.
Okay, just for you.
Just for me, I would like all the rescuers to unite and finish one location before moving to the next.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
lovely.
because if we don't do that, we're just leaving the mamas, or we're leaving the adults, and then
Yeah.
we're messed up again. So I would wish that all of us reunite and just finish a spot before moving to the next.
Yeah.
Those two
Very
are my wishes, I think.
beautiful. Yeah. Victoria, you have a question? Yes. Yeah. He has a question for you.
Yeah, Simba's got a question.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, Bosco, the question I had for you was, with your Big B meetup, what is your ultimate vision? What are you trying to achieve?
Wow, nice question. Nice question. Well, I'd say to bring communities together. Yeah, especially during these hard times, during COVID times, So that would be my ultimate goal, bringing communities together.
Yeah.
And he
Oh,
agrees to that.
Simba agrees.
Absolutely, yeah. He's actually, actually attracted to the screen because you'll have said Simba and he got up. So, yeah. So, thank you, Victoria. Lovely questions.
Thanks,
Beautiful, really.
Victoria.
Very thought provoking. Davina, would you like to oblige?
So I've told you a little bit about my question. I just want to ask you, and so that everyone who's watching here who doesn't have a dog yet but would like to have a dog, what changes happen to your life as soon as you get a dog? What did you have to sacrifice slash compromise to fit Zimba in?
Okay. Well, this is not my first dog in my life. My uncle gifted me a Pomeranian on my first birthday. Yeah, and his name was Bingo, and we sang that song to him. Yeah. So, but what things changed with Simba and living in the Gulf and in Qatar is my fitness regime. So I've got rid of my beer belly, and I walk 6 kilometers a day in the morning and in the evening, and that's because of Simba. And if I don't budge, he gets on my case. So I need to take him out. So he's very regimented that way. So I take him out twice a day, and he's the reason I keep my fitness goals intact. And but yeah, the cons is I can't venture out too much too often. But he's an understanding dog now,
He
and we have a
gets
little bit of a pad to go out, so that's good. But
That's
I
true.
will always have a pet dog. Unconditional love. You don't get those from humans. Yeah.
Victoria. So you've already answered the question I had in mind for you, but I will ask it again. It's also
Okay, sure.
really nice for everyone to know. Uh, what does pause need immediately from us, from people who are just individuals looking at the screen right now? What is the most important thing pause needs right now from all of us?
Yeah, thanks, Davina. So I think in 2.5 months we have to either find temporary or permanent homes for all the animals in our care. So that's 90 dogs, 159 cats. Or if we can't find temporary or permanent homes, we need to influence either a slightly longer period at the current shelter just to give us more time, or we need to find temporary shelter type facilities in Qatar. For cats, it's slightly easier. Potentially we could hire an apartment or something, and but you can't do that with dogs because behaviorally they just can't mix in that kind of numbers. Um, so we need temporary permanent homes. We probably will most likely need some temporary facilities because 250 animals in 2.5 months is almost completely impossible. But in order to get those animals into homes, especially permanent homes, we do need some money. And as I say, the adoption donation that we ask for doesn't cover our costs, especially for international adoption. So we desperately need to support those travel costs through some fundraising. So that's our big ask: flight buddies, fosters, adopters, and fundraising. And if there's somebody really wealthy out there who wants to build us a new shelter, then that would also be really nice.
Yeah. Having said
Thank you
that,
so much.
that's another thing that we can work on. Once we're done with the show in a couple of days, I'd like to meet, and we can maybe talk about that, see how we can take it forward.
Yeah.
Also with the Baladia, what we can do, because I mean, I shouldn't throw this spanner or spade. I think it's an ace, but the World Cup is around the corner,
Yeah.
and we're going to show all the good stuff about Qatar. And there are what I love is there are so many locals who love animals and have
Yeah.
pets.
Sure.
From so many friends that I can name, actually, from
Mm-hmm.
Khalifa Al Misnat to Khalifa Haroon to Nasser Al Kubaisi. I mean, he's a
Mm-hmm.
superstar. He just loves animals so much. He actually flew down to Turkey and rehomed 2 dogs there.
Oh,
Interesting.
wow.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic. And so has Yusra. Yusra has actually flown down to the States 2 years ago and rehomed dogs herself. Flew the dogs herself.
Yeah.
She didn't get flight buddies, so she flew it herself. That's amazing. you know.
Yeah,
So
that's
guys,
amazing. And I think as well, because the landowner whose land we're currently on, I mean, he has been so generous with us since
wonderful.
2017.
Yeah,
So there's so many local Qataris who are animal lovers who want to support us. So
yeah,
I think it's, as you say, Bosco, it's just about raising that awareness. The more people we can get
absolutely.
talking
Yeah,
about it, the
yeah.
better. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you need any more help with any other awareness campaigns, please let me know. If you need to get
Hmm.
in the papers, because I know a couple of people who are on national television and are huge animal lovers. We could talk to
Right.
them also and see what we can see all avenues. We
Yeah.
should do that. So we come to the end of our program, but before I end, I always ask my guests to give us a message of love and peace. Your message of love and peace. Yeah. So let's get it from Divina. So yeah, I'll get it from Divina first because she's just newly married, so she should give us a lovely message of love and
Oh,
peace.
congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Message of love and peace.
Oh, she's thinking.
I am thinking. I'm so sorry. It's not coming off my mind. Victoria, you go first.
Sure.
Oh God.
Um,
Can you hang
so
on,
it's
please?
so it's World Kindness Day today. So I think we all need to sprinkle some
Yeah.
kindness before we go to bed. But I think most importantly, I do believe that the rescue community in Qatar is a single community. Sometimes I think we lose sight of that because we all want to tackle the problem in slightly different ways. But for me, we're all fighting the same battle. We all need to stand together and stand in line together. And we might have slightly different tactics of how we want to win the battle, but we're all ultimately striving for the same thing, which is the welfare and safety of the animals in Qatar. So I think, for me, that's the message that I think we all just need to remember.
Beautiful. Well said. Thank you so much, Divina.
I'm still stuck. I still don't know what to say. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Just because we're in the theme of adopt, don't shop, I would like everyone before they decide to spend a whole lot of money on buying a very branded, very breed intensive dog, just to look at the dog outside, feed the
Mm.
dog. And the love you will find from a street animal is so equal to anything you can find, even
It's
in the
more.
shops. So just look at what you have outside and fall in love, and the rest will come. The rest is
True.
with four paws and a wagging tail. That's it.
Yeah, very well said. When I was a kid, I always wanted a Great Dane because I saw the movie The Ugly Dachshund, and I fell in love with the Great Dane. But not anymore since I'm in Doha now. I said, I mean, we fostered and we let two German shepherds leave because German shepherds cannot live in Qatar unless you have a igloo.
Mm.
And I got this little fellow Doha special with me now. The
Yeah.
Doha special, yeah,
Gorgeous.
and he's biting my hand off. So we need to really say bow wow, yippee yippee yo, goodbye. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you'll enjoy the show. And
Thank you
our
so
work
much
is
for having
our work
us.
is not done yet. It's just the start. We need to rehome 143 dogs or 75 dogs and 143 cats.
90 dollars.
90 159.
Okay, okay, wow. Okay, let's get it. Let's get to it. Yeah. Lovely talking to you all. Have a lovely evening, and thank you guys for tuning
Yeah.
in. Very nice. Quite a few people have tuned in, and thank you so much. And we'll be in touch, Victoria and Davina.
Thanks, Bosco.
Thank
You're
you so
welcome.
much
You and
for
the
having us,
family.
Bosco.
Yeah, it was
Victoria,
lovely. Have a lovely evening. Take care.
you
Yeah,
too.
you too. Take care. Thank you so much for hosting.
Thank you.